to get into the mech?
Yeah, the first thing they do in rigs, at least in the demo, was that they basically show you're standing in like I don't know where it was, not a warehouse, like just a big like kind of convention hall type thing, and they show your mech, and you can kind of like examine the scale of it to a certain extent, and then they put you inside of it, which is a great tutorial. Taking these steps to get the brain used to these things. They get you in the mech, and then you look around and you see your virtual body, your avatar's body, and you see your other teammates' mechs, and their avatars in there as well. And then they push you up this elevator, and then you're on the like playing field. And there was a moment, because like it's a really intense experience, like physically you feel it. It is almost, at least at that time when I played it, and maybe that was just my experience, because your mileage may vary with VR. Everyone's going to react differently to every single game. Like it was kind of intense, and like there was a time where I was killed, because you don't really die. You're like ejected from your mech, and then you respawn.
Oh god, that sounds even worse.
Yeah,
like being ejected from your mech, go flying through the air, the ground hurtling towards you.
They launch you like 100 feet in the air, and you look down, and it looks like a real 100 feet. And that was like the first sense of like vertigo, where I was like, I don't know if I can make it, guys. And then they put you back in the mech, and you keep playing. And then the last game I played in VR was on Oculus Rift, and that was Eve Valkyrie. And that was probably like like the greatest gaming experience ever. To be really hyperbolic about it.
Yeah, that's what I hear. For everything that people have played, everybody kind of says that Eve is like the one game that they could actually see themselves really getting into and playing.
Yeah, and I don't know how the final version, the retail copy, like I don't know how that's going to end up or what that full game looks like. But the 7-minute demo I had at Oculus's booth was no kidding. It was one of the best gaming experiences I may have ever had, just because with the additional power using their PC rigs, like you had a game that looked phenomenal in VR. Like that difference in resolution was apparent. Now, and that's not to say that you're not getting that sense of presence and it's not amazing in PSVR, because it is. But you can see what more powerful hardware can offer you in virtual reality. And I think that's important going forward. And ultimately, like you were saying earlier, might be the purpose of bringing out Neo now, presumably this fall.
This is going to be, I guess, to move on to PlayStation with this, talking about expectations at E3. This is going to be a very, very important year for them. For the hardcore fans, I think people are mostly sold, but PlayStation has to sell the general audiences on PSVR. Yeah. And the last presentation they had at the PlayStation Experience, that ain't going to cut it.
Broken Tron or whatever they showed.
Oh god, that was so embarrassing. And then like what was it? They were showing the thing where like your two characters stand on platforms opposite each other, and you have to like throw like darts or whatever it was at the other character.
Yeah.
And then the other guy's character broke, and he was like stuck, and he couldn't do anything. So he's like, I'm just going to sit here and throw these darts at your body since you can't move. It was just bad. It was just bad presentations. And all the stuff they could have showed, like the stuff that you saw, the stuff that I've seen at E3, they could have shown any of that. And I don't know why they went with this weird little demo.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, exactly. When you have retail titles that have already been announced, why are you showing a tech demo?
Yep.
Just show rigs again. Show the Ace Combat trailer that they showed in that same presentation. Show that earlier.
And so this is going to be crucial. They've got to nail VR, because this is their last big chance before the launch. This is it. I mean, sure, they can have something, they'll have an event or whatever. But as far as the media coverage, not just in the gaming industry, but like in general, like that's what E3 is. Like,
absolutely, yes.
You're letting the world and companies, you're letting everybody know, not just the gaming community, what's coming and what you're doing. And they have not done a very good job of selling PSVR. So this is their moment. They've got to nail this. So I'm excited to see some new stuff. Maybe even like they showed Ark, and Ark is coming out this year. Mm-hmm. The kind of Jurassic World game. And yeah. What's the other one? I keep wanting to say Will Robinson. The Robinsons.
No, the
it's another Jurassic
game, right?
thing.
Yeah,
like whatever it was. It started with the little robot It started with the little Dinklebot talking to you, and then it took you like through and you saw the dinosaurs and stuff. Like if they could maybe have somebody play that, like that would be kind of cool. Or I don't know. I want to see some really good stuff, and they need to show some full games like that that people can look forward to playing.
And
so hopefully they're prepared, because this has got to be it for them.
Yeah, it's a very interesting position they're in right now, because one, like VR is already out there in the wild for consumers. Like you can get an Oculus Rift. Well, okay. Because of the supply and demand thing that's going on right now, you may not be able to get an Oculus Rift or a Vive, but they are out there, and I'm sure HTC and Oculus, they are working day and night to make sure that more people can get the stuff that they bought. Mm-hmm. So it might take some time, but it'll come. But in the meantime, like Sony is preparing, because there's going to be like 50 million PS4s in the wild by November this year or something.
Yep.
Maybe it's already 50. The thing sells so well. Like, they already have that many people that they can go, listen, for X amount of money, for $400, whatever it is for PSVR, you can have this, premier VR experience. Like they're going to be selling that hard, and it's more mass market than how many people have like amazing PC rigs that can run VR. Like it's still expensive. I'm not saying the cost for a gaming rig isn't worth it, because I think it is, but for most people, for the general population, it's not. And Sony they're in a very advantageous position, because they have 50 million people that they can go, boom, you want VR? Here it is. Are you in the market for VR, but you haven't jumped into PlayStation yet? Well, here you go. I'm sure there's going to be some bundle, maybe with Neo, where they're going to go, here, for the same price as an Oculus Rift and whatever, like a new GPU. Low-end GPU, would that cost? For $800 or $900, whatever it is, you can get like an ultimate PlayStation VR bundle.
Oh, maybe God, I don't want to spend the money, but I know I'm going to.
But Sony's in a great position.
Yeah.
And they can lean on their brand. Oculus is still a new brand, even though they have Facebook behind them, and and HTC is a dying brand, but Steam is Valve is a very powerful brand. So yeah, I mean, Sony has some advantages. One is their user base and their dedicated players, and so they have the potential to kind of be the number one game or number one name in the game this year.
Yeah, and I think they're definitely taking the right approach with the price tag, because that's what really matters. Like you got to show the games though. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Enough with the tech demos. You got to show the real games, and that is my one kind of criticism of VR, at least in terms of what Sony has shown so far. Yeah,
where's the like big single player experiences? Where's the full game, like the AAA title that I can play?
And I think we're going to see that, because of
course, Shu
said that, I forgot how many he said are in development, but he said like there's a lot of VR games in development that have been done from the ground up. Plus, all these other games that you're already playing are going to have the VR option, so you can play, I don't know, Uncharted 4 in VR if you want to. But yeah, supposedly there were all these games in development that we haven't seen. So hopefully Sony's done really well for the most part. Like all their presentations have been fantastic recently for the most part, with the exception of that last VR presentation at PlayStation Experience. So I think maybe they're really going to bring it. They're going to show like everything they've got on VR, which would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like GT Sports, or is it GT Sport? I don't know. I don't know if there's an S or not at the end. That new Gran Turismo game.
Oh yeah,
like that's in VR.
Oh, you that's going to be there. You're going to be.
No, I know. Like,
there's no way.
That's the type of game you need to show.
Mm-hmm.
And you need journalists losing their minds when they get, behind the VR wheel of those cars. Like, you need to, you need some of this stuff. You need to show how genres can work in VR. Like, there is, first-person shooters, not an ideal, VR genre to tackle right now.
Yeah.
There's a nausea issue, understandably. But show the ones that can work while technology catches up to fix those problems, because that's going to happen. Like, someone's going to figure it out.
Yep.
Like, Ubisoft is already playing around with how your field of view can change in VR based on the speed that you're turning, and that they're using that. It's the Eagle demo, whatever that's called, or the Eagle game, where you're basically like an eagle flying through like some Uncharted Assassin's Creed city, and you can like race and like fight against other eagles or something like that.
Yeah, I remember it. I can't remember too much, but I remember seeing the video for it.
Yeah. So show the big guns. If you've got them, you need to show them.
Yeah, there is no other time for that. So it's not like we can say, well, maybe they'll show it. No, like this is big gun time.
Yeah. I think before we transition away from this, I want to double back to Microsoft real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I mentioned, the mystery surrounding their direction. Like, we don't know if there's a next Xbox. We don't know if it's gonna be an iterative box like Neo.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be? Are they just cutting off Xbox One early? Are they going like full next gen on this thing? We don't know. Probably not, but we don't know. Maybe they say nothing about a new Xbox, and I think they're well within their right. I think I've mentioned this to you in the past, but I think from the beginning of this generation, which started with Wii U and PS4, Xbox One launches, so that 2012, 2013, this is not going to be another 360, PS3, Wii generation where it lasts a decade.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. The developers do not want that. I think, even though it's easier on consumers' wallets, I think the vast majority of console gamers, I think 10 years is too long. Tech moves way too quickly, and I think 5 years is fair. I think 6 years maybe is kind of like right on the money.
Well, see, everything's changing now.
It is, absolutely.
Because now you've got these mid-generation consoles. So, I know we talked about the generation not lasting long, but if you have these small steps along the way,
generation never ends.
Then, yeah, does it just keep going?
Yeah.
And then as far as Microsoft goes, you saw the blowback PlayStation got with the PS4.5 from the fans. Yeah. Like, people were pissed. And that's not even with them making the PS4, the original PS4, irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because with PS4.5, the PS4 is still relevant. Both consoles go hand in hand, play the same games moving forward. But if Phil decides that they don't want to do a mid-generation console and they want to move on, then you're telling everybody who has invested in the Xbox One so far, I'm sorry, but we're just going to keep going, because it's
a Nintendo problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Phil and Microsoft, maybe they have to give in. Maybe they just have to go with the flow on this one. And throw out an I can't even. I give up on that word.
Iterative.
Thank you. I'll let you say it from now on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very tricky position to be in because